Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to Third Wave Trades. So for today's video, I just want to give you guys a quick update on Gamestop, ticker symbol GME. Obviously, you guys have seen my last two videos, and if you haven't, I'll link them in the description below. That kind of gives a larger viewpoint of how I'm analyzing the stock and coming up with the projections that I'm coming up with, which is basically that the technical analysis confirms the possibility that we will experience a short squeeze very soon with GameStop. So I'll link those videos. You guys can watch those. But for today's video, I'm just going to give you an update on the last two videos based off of today's price action, right? So if you guys could, then please hit the like button if you guys have been finding these videos helpful. Please subscribe to the channel, and also if you guys could, please share this with as many people as possible. Anybody that you know is holding GameStop, anybody that you know who would benefit from this, please share this so we can get this out to as many people as possible. All right, and lastly, before I get started, guys, quick disclaimer: I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research, and/or consult with a financial advisor before making any trading or investment decisions. All right, so now that that's out of the way, quick recap for you guys. This right here, as I told you guys, was our point of invalidation, roughly around the $10 mark. We had our first wave move, followed by a larger degree second wave that brought us all the way back down to roughly $17.59. And then we had an intermediate first wave right here, right? So that's made up of 5 waves, came in a leading expanding diagonal, and then we had a large retracement. So now I'm looking for us to get the third wave, either the third wave of this intermediate wave 1 or another 1-to-1 move, in which case we would have a 1-2-1-2 setup. All right, or so we're looking for a 1-to-1 move at the very least with this wave, right? So this way we would have a 1-2-1-2, come back down, and then we would get the third wave, which would be a very massive move, right? So at the very least, like I said, I'm looking for a 1-to-1 move with this right here. All right, so we use our fib extension tool. So a 1-to-1 should take us to roughly that $70 range, okay? So that's basically what I'm looking for, and that move should be made up of 5 waves, and I believe we had that first wave yesterday, and then the second wave completed today. So let's zoom in to this price action here for the last 2 days, including today, and see what we got. All right, guys, so now we are on a 5-minute time frame, and you can see basically how I have this lined up over here. So this started from yesterday's low, right? I showed you guys in the last video how we had kind of like this accumulation setup that we popped out of right after our spring move, and that gave us our first wave, second wave, and now this can kind of be, you can kind of take this as 2 different ways, right? So there's a couple of different ways that you can take this. You could say that this was the entire 5-wave move right here, and then we had an ABC correction over here and an expanded flat, right? So if you do all the fib levels, it checks out, right? So this would be 3 waves for A, 3 waves for B, and then this could be a 5-wave move for C, right? So an expanded flat. That tells me that the correction is over. Also, you know, you could also probably take this as maybe this was the entire first wave over here, and you know, this was our 5th wave, this was our 3rd, this was our 4th, and this was some sort of ending diagonal or something like that. And then over here we basically got an ABC structure, kind of like this, right? Like a zigzag or something, right? Either way, you know, for our purposes, it doesn't really matter so much, because The idea is that the first wave, whether here or here, it completed, and this was the completion of our second wave, in my opinion. You can see already after hours, we kind of got a bounce. We'll see what happens over here with this move right here, right? So let me just back up for a second. So yesterday we ended somewhere around here, right? And then this was kind of like the after hours. So we started off the day, we pushed a little bit higher to $32, and then that's kind of what I was telling you guys about yesterday, that expect a pullback, especially if you see some divergence. And over here you can see from the RSI we did have divergence, right? So we were making higher highs in price, or not from there, rather we're making higher highs in price, but we made lower highs on the RSI. So that's bearish divergence right there. That's basically giving you the signal that a pullback is coming. I personally didn't think that the pullback would be this steep, but it's still a normal pullback and nothing to be scared of, right? If we do use our retracement tool, we can see it actually pulled right around the 78.6% retracement level, which is a perfectly normal second wave retracement. So that's perfectly fine. And like I said, no matter how you guys want to view this, whether you want to view this as a zigzag correction over here, or if you view this as the completed first wave and this whole thing as an expanded flat correction, either way, it checks out, right? So now the next thing is we should be getting, if this correction is over, which I think it is for a couple different reasons, like there's divergences and things like that, and we should be getting this bounce pushing higher. Then we should be expecting a third wave move tomorrow, right? So that should be made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that, right? So we'll see how this plays out, but it should be pretty impulsive, and that's why I'm expecting a big push tomorrow. If I'm not wrong, I believe tomorrow GameStop has their shareholders meeting at 10 a.m. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me in the comments. But if that is the case, I think that lines up perfectly with what the technicals are showing us, right? From an Elliott wave perspective, the technicals are showing us that we should be getting a strong move now that this correction is finished, right? So long as we hold this level, which is around 24.87, so long as we hold that and we don't break that, I think we should be going higher, right? In a 5-wave sequence, again, so we should be getting a move. So that's kind of what I'm expecting for us to get tomorrow, a strong push back up to maybe even like the $40 range. You can see it should look something like that. All right, how can we get to that? We could do a fib extension tool, right? So this is our first wave. Let's take it from here and let's bring it down to the bottom of our second, and you can see we should be getting a push at least to, if this is the third wave move itself, then probably to 161.8% of this move, which would take us to around $42. Alternatively, in this scenario, just like in the larger scenario, we could have a 1-2-1-2, which would just set us up for another more impulsive move down the road, right? So then that would give us something like 1, 2, 1, 2, and then the larger move. So that's basically what I'm looking at, guys. I think the way that the day ended, it looked pretty scary, the way that was a sharp pullback, but again, it's a normal retracement level for a second wave. Usually you'll get a 61.8% to a 78.6% retracement of the first wave, and that's exactly what we got, and we bounced. Now, as of right now, we bounced right where we needed to, and we're holding it, but it's after hours, there's low volume, so take it with a grain of salt. If by tomorrow morning we break this, then then that kind of invalidates this somewhat, this would still hold as a zigzag. It would just be a deeper retracement. The only way that this entire thing, this whole sequence would be completely invalidated is if we break this level, right? Because this is the starting point of our first wave. So, you know, we just can't have the second wave go below this. So we could have 1, 2, anywhere up to here. But if we cross this blue line, then this scenario is not the case. So that would be a bad move. Now, in terms of entry, if anybody wanted to play this, I would say getting in anywhere over here would be a great entry, and using this as your stop loss, right? So 24.87 as your stop loss, and getting in somewhere around here. Again, not financial advice, but that's basically how you use Elliott wave. That's a great setup for a large move. If you could get in at the bottom of the second wave and you use the origin of the first wave as your stop loss, right? Because then basically you're risking this right here for this move right here. So hope that makes sense to you guys. If it doesn't, you guys want to ask me some questions in the comments, feel free. I'll try to respond to you guys. But that's kind of what I saw play out today. I'll show you guys also how I was monitoring this using the Wyckoff. Where is it? Alright, so that was our accumulation, and today we had this distribution top right here, right? So when we were in this play, I was kind of watching this, monitoring this to see where we were going to go, right? Because at any point there was a chance that this, which turned out to be a distribution, could have been a reaccumulation, right? If buyers had came in over here, we could have pushed the price back up, and that would have been a perfectly good Elliott wave count as well. That would have just made this an expanded flat, or even up somewhere up here. We could have, if it ended over right here, we could have got a running flat. But turns out that the buyers weren't so strong over here. We broke lower, so this whole move became a distribution, and we pushed lower, and now we're finding support over here. So yeah, that's kind of one way you can kind of monitor those corrections using a combination of Elliott wave and Wyckoff. So what do I think is going to happen next? Like I said, we should get this strong push, and then eventually, guys, that should set us up for this larger third wave move, right? So then this would be our 1, 2, either 3, 4, 5, right? Which kind of gives us that 1-to-1 with this move back here, right? That would give us this 1, 2, 1, 2. Expect to pull back after that, and then a large push up. So all in all, like I still think that we are on pace to make a really strong move. Maybe tomorrow will be the catalyst that sets everything off. Safest way to play this, I still think, is to just buy and hold shares. Even right now, I still think it's a low price. Again, if you're trading options, be careful, right? But yeah, that's really all I got for GameStop right now. Obviously, you guys know the bigger technical analysis thesis, which is dating back to the 3 years ago, right, with this whole accumulation schematic that we broke out of, that I went over yesterday. But in terms of a kind of like micro zoomed in picture of what we just saw yesterday and today, we had a 1, we had a 2, and now we're looking for this third wave trade. Alright, so that's all I got, guys. If it's helpful, please leave a like, please comment, please subscribe to the channel, share the video with as many people as you can, and I'll be back tomorrow after tomorrow's price action. It's kind of hard, and it's kind of risky kind of giving these predictions, because if you're wrong, then everybody sees that you're wrong, and it is what it is. But I don't really see anybody else doing it, right? They're just talking about this is the support and this is the resistance, and if we break this, that's helpful to, I guess, to some people. But if you really want true forecasting, you got to use methods like Wyckoff, you got to use methods like Elliott wave, you got to use methods, for retailers, that's really all we got. So I'm kind of going out on a limb to let you guys know what I think based off of these methods. It could be wrong, right? Technical analysis isn't 100% right all the time, but it looks good to me so far, right? And obviously, given all the hype that we have with the possibility of a short squeeze, Roaring Kitty, with the shareholder meeting tomorrow, everything is kind of just lining up. The technicals are lining up with all the outside events and everything that we hear. So we'll see. If I'm right, I'll come back on tomorrow and we can celebrate. If I'm wrong, that's fine. I'll own my mistake. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. I really appreciate you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good luck trading. Peace.